So you're looking to find the perfect setup for your metrics to analyze the performance of your e-commerce campaigns on Google Ads. So one of my previous videos, I went over the lead generation metrics I like to use to analyze and further optimize my lead generation campaigns. And this is what I like to use for my e-commerce campaigns. And shock, it is actually very, very similar. However, we change out just a few of the metrics because obviously we're more focused on, not worried, of achieving a good return on our ad spend. So let's just go over the basic layout of what I like to do. So we start with cost, which is good to get a basis of how much we're spending, impressions, clicks, conversions, cost per conversions, conversion value divided by cost, which is ROAS, CTR, which is our click-through rate, our conversion rate, our average CPC, and these are our search impression shares. So if you want to go over these metrics in detail, go on my lead generation campaign where I touch on it in much more detail. But for this, I'm just going to go over the main differences between the lead generation metrics and the e-commerce metrics. So the main differences here, we have included conversion value divided by cost, which is ROAS. So typically when I filter my campaigns, I will always start with conversions from top to bottom. I want to know where the number of conversions are coming from in terms of my campaigns. And then right next to it, we have our cost per conversion, which to me isn't as important as our return on ad spend, which is this column here, because our cost per conversion could be slightly higher, but if we're still getting a bigger ROAS, that means we are getting a bigger average order value, so it sort of cancels out the importance of cost per conversion. This isn't the case every time. This is what I do, and it always seems to work very well. Typically, I focus on conversion value divided by cost, which is our ROAS. So let's run through these. So I typically filter by conversions and look at these three directly first. I want to know for this campaign, we have 83 conversions from around £500 at a £7 cost per conversion, which could be slightly high for this client. But if we look, we are getting a 6.29 ROAS. So for every £1 we're spending, we are getting £6.29 back from our advertising spend. So even though this number is slightly higher than I'd want, it doesn't actually matter so much because the average order value gained from this campaign is high at 6.29 ROAS. Okay, so then we can look further down, and for this example, let's have a look at this. We spent £45. We have 3 conversions at a £15 cost per conversion, which is double the one I was already a little bit concerned about. So this one's already flagging up to me. And we can already see we are getting a 2 ROAS. So this campaign's getting a 6, but this campaign's only getting a 2. So this shows to me I want to probably focus on improving this campaign so we can probably get more relevant searches and a better return on ad spend from this campaign. And then if we move over, in my previous video I went over search impression share, and these 3 metrics I really like to use a lot, so I'm going to go over them in terms of the e-commerce, which is relatively similar to the lead generation I explained. So the first column, which is search impression share, basically shows to us the percentage of times we are showing up compared to the percentage of times we can show up. So you want to aim to have this column at 100%, because we want our ads to be showing up 100% of the times that they are eligible to do that. But we can see here, this top campaign, which is our best performer, is appearing for less than 10% of the times we can actually show up. So our search impression share is very low in this campaign, which suggests to me this campaign has a lot of potential. So we already know we have a low search impression share. Let's have a look at the search impression share loss due to rank and the search impression share loss due to budget as to what may be the reason we're not showing up for this. And already I can see that these numbers are pretty high. So we want this column here to be 100%. However, we want the search impression share loss due to rank and budget to be 0%. We want these to be as low as possible. So what search impression share loss due to rank does or shows us is how many times we are not appearing due to poor ad rank. And what ad rank is the quality of our adverts. So the quality of our keyword choices is it matching the ad copy in our adverts, and is it that matching the ad copy in our landing pages? This is a thing called message match. I have a video on this, so I would recommend going and checking that one out. It is the easiest way to improve the quality of your campaigns. And the best thing about focusing on message match is Google rewards quality. So if you can have good quality, Google will naturally rank you higher in the paid advertising rankings, because you want to have relevant ads that don't get a high bounce rate and actually show the user what they want to see, what they are searching for, which you may sound quite common sense, but it happens so many times. As in, poor ad rank happens all the time. And one thing you want to focus on is quality with Google Ads, because if you can't compete on budget, you can always compete on quality. So looking at this, our rank search impression share is 32%. To me, that's quite high. All of these are relatively high. So that would suggest to me I want to improve the quality of the adverts, or I want to switch out my bidding strategy. So first of all, I said this is due to ad rank, but ad rank also includes our bidding strategy. So for example, we have maximize conversions target ROAS on here. So if this is slightly high, that says to me my target ROAS is probably a little bit higher than it needs to be. And that is affecting our adverts by not showing up as much as we can, because Google, I'm saying to Google, only show these adverts to people who are going to achieve a 7 ROAS for these campaigns. So automatically, if I want to improve this number down to 0 or around 10%, I would first of all reduce my target ROAS, so Google will show our adverts to a larger audience pool. That's the first thing we can do. So this one is really good. I recommend this one a lot. I use it all the time, and this is the best way to improve the quality of your campaigns. And the next one is search impression share loss due to budget. This is a much easier one to explain, and basically shows to us how much we aren't showing up because of the budget we are using. So again, we want this to be as close to 0 as possible, with most of these are quite high. This one is around a 7%, which is good. That's probably the lowest we want, and it's probably what we should aim for the other ones. So this says to me the fact that it's a higher percent, but we are probably using a low budget. And if we look over here, look, we have a £5, £5, £5, £4, £2.50. So we're using a very, very low daily budget, which this would suggest to me we need to pump this up a lot more. Probably you could start around £20 each per day for these campaigns, if not more. So we're not appearing quite a large amount because of the budget we are using. So as I said, these three are really good. You should use these as much as possible, and I highly recommend it. So that's the only difference between this and the lead generation campaign that I use in terms of my metrics. If you want to look at that video, it'll be linked below, or maybe just in my in my channel. And thank you for watching, guys. I'll see you on the next one.